on, guys? Parker Joe back for another video. We're at Umbra, obviously. Gonna be ripping a back day. Today I want to talk about training your upper back, your rhomboids, and the importance of training them, because a lot of people get it mixed up with your traps. But I'm gonna show you guys a couple things. Let's talk about pull-ups. So a lot of people don't love their pull-ups. I personally do. Maybe it's because I'm great at them, but also many different ways to train your pull-ups. You can target different muscles. We all know on back days, you know, thumbs over, you can do underhand pronated, mixed grip. It's gonna hit different muscles in your body in a different way. So obviously when we're thinking about our upper back, a lot of people, we always think about the traps. You know, the traps, they're bulging, they're huge muscles in your back. Obviously it's kind of like above your shoulder, they drape down into where your lats kind of cover most of your back. But your traps and rhomboids have completely opposite running muscle fibers, meaning your traps train by coming up, and yeah, of course, a little bit retracted as well. But when it comes to your rhomboids, they're actually a muscle that hold down as well. And so it's really interesting to think about it, but your traps are the same muscle, very similar to your rhomboids. They're just on the outside. Your rhomboids are on the inside, and they're completely different. They're opposites in the way that they work. So when it comes to pull-ups, you really want to make sure when you get to the top, if you can get to the top, you are squeezing, coming all the way down, retracting, really squeezing those rhomboids, because that's what you want to grow. Especially if you want like a more 3D looking back, you really got to build those rhomboids, because the bigger you get those, the more they're going to push out even more on those traps. So obviously there's importance in hitting the two, but I'm going to show you guys how I like to do my pull-ups. So I'm going to show you two variations. The first one is wrong. So this is more scooping with your lats. If you notice, it's almost like I'm doing a row. I'm keeping my chest up and I'm just pulling my lats through, where obviously when you want to train more of your rhomboids, you do want to be a bit more flat. And when you come up, you really want to focus on the squeeze at the top. You want to drive your elbows kind of in, but your shoulder blades, you want to kind of retract back. So you're kind of creating this natural arch as you're doing pull-ups. So I'm just going to get a couple in. All right, a lot of people like to train their lats differently, specifically when it comes to lat pull downs. I personally like a more neutral, narrow grip, because one of my biggest goals is just to get a little bit wider. Some people want thickness, density. Right now, I'm just training just to kind of get a bit more wing. So what I'm gonna do here is obviously just neutral, pulling through those elbows, coming all the way back, getting that squeeze and contraction, just trying to just inflate your wings. So we're just gonna get right into it. I usually do 3 to 4 sets, anywhere from like, I don't know, 8 to 12, obviously based on the weight. One more thing, a lot of people make a lot of mistakes with a lot of different movements, but you want to keep tension. So don't just throw it down and just go back up just to rep it again. You want to control that tension from the top all the way to the bottom, all the way in between, because you want to tear down those muscle fibers. Also, you just want to make sure you're getting that mechanical tension for growth, for stimulus. If you want to get bigger, you got to train smarter. It's not about going crazy, crazy hard, even though, yeah, it is hard to train smart, but you got to train smart before anything. All right, we getting some upper back in. One of my biggest lacking muscles is my back, especially the upper back. So I love this machine. You can get such a crazy stretch. So I just let it go all the way to the bottom. Let your shoulders round out, stretch, then retract and pull back. Basically, if I'm pulling more narrow, this is more lower lat, which is great. But right now, obviously we're just going for that upper back. So, all right, I gotta go back up. Never mind, that's too late. You kind of want to break up the back into a couple different pieces. I mean, mainly you have your upper and your lower, but upper and lower can be trained in different ways to build different parts of the back. So if you want more depth, 3D, whatever, train your rhomboids, get your traps, make sure you're also hitting your rear delt. That's going to create the top of your back. So if you're trying to get that taper, you really need that as well. But again, as well, your lats come from the top where they meet the shoulder all the way down. And those also can wrap around your back depending on your inserts. So basically, make sure when you're training, I like to do a rotation of training more lower lats, you know, lower back. And then I have a day where it's more upper back, you know, it's a bit more traps, rhomboids, and, you know, getting your rear delts involved because you want to make sure you grow evenly. So I think it's great to split it just like how some people will split their leg days into, like, you know, quad calves, glute hamstring, or however. I personally don't split my leg days, but some people do. Works perfectly for them. For me, all I need is just 1 day a week to grow my legs. Obviously, most people, when they train their backs, they're pairing it with biceps, which I do as well. I just like to get warm and get, you know, maybe like 40 reps in, so 20 each arm, just to get a little bit of blood flow and train my mind to get ready for that mind-muscle connection and contraction. So I usually just do 20 normal and then 20 hammers. I really like doing some incline curls. Personally, I feel like you can get a lot of weight on the long head of the bicep. If you kind of raise your elbows a little bit, instead of letting them come down, there's no weight on your bicep. But as soon as you lift them up a little bit, now there's weight on that lower bicep. And so I really like to keep my elbows a little bit more forward so there's tension the whole time. Because if I allow tension to just drop, you know, let your shoulders hang, there's no tension on the bicep. If you come up a little bit, now there's strain. And so you're getting a little bit more out of your curls when you do that. I usually like to finish any sort of arm day with unilateral. I really like any sort of single arm work just because I feel like you get a much better contraction when you're working them on their own than you would be working together. So usually I do anywhere from 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 15, really just working on squeeze, getting blood flow in there, and of course, eccentric, going down, making sure you're really just tearing everything that you can in your bicep. So also, same concept applies to the curls earlier on the incline. You keep your elbow a little bit far up. When you come all the way down, you're holding that weight. It's gonna put that tension back in your bicep. You wanna start and keep the tension for as much as you can during any exercise, because that's how you're gonna grow.
All right, we are going for a quick walk. I wanted to get my cardio in at the gym, but honestly, I just wasn't feeling it. So instead, I'm just gonna do a 5-mile walk. Should be around an hour and a half or so. Gonna stop by, see Lem, say what up. So I'm recording on the phone right now, so sorry if the audio is different. And the color, because whenever I put it into my software, for whatever reason, the colors are always messed up. But we're gonna finish this walk, show you how many calories it ended up burning.
All right, we made it back from the 5-mile walk. It took me a good hour 45, just under. So I want to start implementing some cardio. I'm feeling fat because I'm usually around like 12% year round, you know, give or take, a little bit above, a little bit under. And obviously the Umbra lighting is not natty. Like, it makes me look so much leaner than I really am. So probably gonna start implementing a lot more walking, incline walking, running eventually. I do wanna hit 275 before, and that's like a 20-pound jump basically, and I think I could hit it on bench, but we're gonna see what happens, guys. I'm gonna make another video soon, probably talking about what I eat in a bulk, blah, blah, blah. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment. Really helps me out when I get a lot of engagement. But appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much for sticking to the end. And we'll see you guys later. I'm going to do a different outro because that was kind of cringe. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.